Hello and welcome. This webinar is for broadband providers and video franchise holders preparing to submit to the California Public Utilities Commission's annual broadband data collection. We at CPUC hope that this video helps you navigate the data collection process. Thank you for watching. This video will cover who should submit data, what data should be submitted, where and how to submit your data, and what you can expect after submitting. All fixed broadband providers operating in California and video franchise holders certificated by and/or registered with the CPUC shall submit to the annual data collection. If you are a facilities-based provider, a partial reseller that provides broadband from facilities you own, or a provider that has built broadband infrastructure to which you currently provide service or could perform a standard broadband installation, you will be required to submit deployment and subscription data as of December 31st of last year. Pure resellers with no fixed deployment do not need to submit data. The deadline for submission is indicated in the yearly data request letter and can be found on the CPUC's Broadband Mapping Program website, linked here. You will be expected to submit data as of December 31st of the previous year. This means for 2025's broadband data collection, the submitted deployment and subscription data needs to be current as of December 31st, 2024. Failure to submit accurate data by the deadline may cause some or all of the submitted coverage areas to be classified as unserved on the California Interactive Broadband Map. This allows other providers to seek CASF grant funds to offset the costs of deploying network infrastructure to those areas. Submissions shall reflect actual service availability and include locations where a provider can perform a standard broadband installation as defined in the Broadband Data Act as the initiation by a provider of fixed broadband internet access service within 10 days of a request in an area in which the provider has not previously offered that service, with no charges or delays attributable to the extension of the network of the provider. Submissions shall reflect actual service availability. Locations where a provider has indicated they will not be able to provide service to a prospective customer for reasons such as network limitations, construction barriers, line of sight issues, etc., shall not be represented as being served. Submissions shall not include buffer zones where networks could theoretically be extended but do not currently have service or the ability to perform a standard broadband installation within 10 business days. Each broadband location submitted will receive a served or unserved status. Locations with speeds of at least 25 megabits per second download and 3 megabits per second upload are considered served. Locations below the 25.3 megabit per second threshold are considered unserved. Unserved locations are eligible for California Advanced Services Fund grants or other infrastructure grants to offset the cost of deploying network infrastructure. You can find detailed submission guidelines on the CPUC's Broadband Data Submission Guidelines and Templates webpage. This includes the deadline for this year, who should submit data, and files and formats to use for data submission for fixed broadband providers and mobile providers. From 2025 on, the CPUC has modified the location table format to align with the FCC's broadband data collection so that submitters to the FCC can more easily adapt their data for the CPUC's data collection. Providers of broadband who are also video franchise holders should submit their deployment data using a single location and address table containing both kinds of deployment. Providers of broadband only are encouraged to submit using this format as well, especially if they already have FCC location IDs for their deployment locations. Each row in the table should indicate whether the location has deployment for business, residential, or both. If a location is only for broadband, leave the video fields in that row blank and vice versa. If a location has both broadband and video deployment available, then complete all fields. The required data fields are pictured here along with the accepted broadband technology codes. Refer to the data format document on our website for detailed descriptions of each field. In this example, a fixed broadband provider has submitted a deployment polygon covering the entire state of California and put down their brand name, their FRN or FCC registration number, the technology codes used, and the up and down speeds in megabits per second. They have also indicated that this deployment is available to mass market and business customers by entering X in the BizRes code field. All submitted KMZs and shapefiles must be compressed into a .zip file and named with the submitter's brand name first, followed by an underscore, then fixed deployment, and the year submitted as pictured on the bottom of this slide. If you are submitting a separate CSV table with your deployment GIS file, it will be submitted separately from the zip file. The data fields for fixed broadband subscribers by location and address are shown here. Similar to the deployment table, a single row can contain both broadband and video franchise information, if applicable. See the data format document on our website for a full description of the required fields. For pricing of residential services, please use the Price of Service template Excel sheet on our website to format the data correctly. Fill in the pricing of services and whether they are offered throughout the service area based on service speeds nearest to 25 and 3 megabits per second, 120 megabits per second, and the maximum speed offered. Select the relevant technology codes, which are listed on the second tab of the template, as well as the download and upload speeds. All mobile data must be submitted in the following formats. The deployment must be submitted as a shapefile using the data format and shapefile example available on our website as reference. And subscription must be submitted using the subscribers by census tract data format and CSV example documents on our website as reference. All broadband providers and video franchise holders must also include a PDF document that addresses the following questions about their year-end deployment and subscription data. How does the company collect and store data? How is data processed before submitting to the CPUC? Responses should include, at minimum, information about the software used, any data processing procedures, personnel roles in collecting or managing the deployment or subscription data, and quality control procedures. Submission of this methodology PDF is required for successful submission of your deployment and subscription data. All data is submitted through the data submission portal linked here. If this is your first time submitting data to the CPUC's broadband data collection, click on the Request Access button on the login page. You'll receive an email with a username and password shortly after. Please keep a record of this for future use. If you are a returning provider, please enter your login information from last year. If you cannot access your account or have forgotten your password, contact us using the emails shown here to get a new password. Please submit using the same brand name as your FCC submission, or if you do not submit to FCC, your brand name. Submitting under a personal or work email or a previous business name may result in your data not being validated correctly and therefore not appearing on the California broadband map. When using the data portal, please use browsers other than Internet Explorer as it does not work with the portal. Once you log into the data portal, you can upload the files relevant to the service you provide. Select the type of data you are uploading, and then click the Import Zip File button or drag the file into the browser window, then follow the instruction prompt. Click through each step to ensure that your file has been uploaded. If the upload is successful, you should be able to see the uploaded files under the Uploaded Files tab. A pop-up will show links to instructional webinars as they become available. During the submission process, you may encounter problems with uploading your submission files. Here are some common issues that you may encounter. If you encounter any additional issues or errors that you are unable to solve on your own, please contact us through email at broadbandmapping@cpuc.ca.gov and we will assist with your submission. After broadband providers have submitted their data, the broadband mapping team will review submissions carefully and validate submitted data. Note that the CPUC does not modify data that is submitted. It is used as submitted. The submitted deployment data must meet the criteria as described in this video and listed on the Broadband Mapping Program's website and include all data fields. If subscriber data does not contain full and accurate addresses that exist in available geocoders, those locations will not appear in your deployment and therefore cannot be used to validate it. You may receive a request to revise your deployment or subscriber data if the deployment does not correspond to your subscriber locations or to correct subscriber addresses that cannot be mapped. If there are any issues, we will reach out to you regarding the submission and what can be done to move forward. Once we receive and process all submissions, we will send out a data viewer. This is a map-based tool for reviewing successfully validated deployment and subscriber data. Please keep an eye on your inbox for updates or requests for revision. Please reach out to us at broadbandmapping@cpuc.ca.gov for any additional questions. Thank you for your continued support and cooperation on the CPUC's annual broadband data collection.